Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Robert's Reviews. This is a Robert's Thoughts episode, so it's not edited or anything. This is just my reactions to what happened on screen just now, and spoilers ahead for Loki episode 4. So if you haven't seen it yet, make sure you don't watch the video, and definitely check this episode out. You're going to want to. But I want to talk first about what happened in the last episode, okay, which wasn't my favorite episode. Admittedly, it wasn't. But it left off in this huge cliffhanger where who knew what was going to happen, right? We're like, oh god, like we're literally the biggest cliffhanger. And in that video, I first was like, okay, I think it's Enchantress because her name was Sylvie, which is Enchantress's name, and she literally said, I enchant people. So my thought on the last episode was that she was Enchantress, even though my thoughts on episode 2 was that she was Loki. Then one other thing that I thought from last episode was that because we focus so much on Loki and with Sylvie in the third episode, that the fourth episode would be focusing more on Mobius and, of course, the TVA itself, which I was right. This episode is very much more about Mobius and the TVA and what they're doing to catch up with what the Lokis are doing. I don't even know where to start. Not a whole lot happens plot-wise until like the last 5 minutes of the show and then the post-credit scene. Like, literally, it's pretty dead for the most part. A lot of it's just catching up with what they already know, right? And of course, now there's the rumor spreading that the TVA is fake, and they're trying to prove that. And I want to talk about Sylvie first. I still don't know if she's actually a Lady Loki, because she kind of talked me into it. She was like, yeah, I was born in Asgard, and then they even showed the TVA taking her. And I was like, I think she might be Lady Loki. Like, I didn't think so at first. I was pretty confident it was Enchantress. Marvel might have been throwing the name Sylvie out there just for the purpose of making us go, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. I think there is still a chance that she is Enchantress, but I think pretty confidently now that she is Lady Loki. Whether or not she is, I don't know, but judging by the post-credit scene, I think it's pretty safe to assume this is, in fact, Lady Loki. The TVA. The TVA is fake. We did learn that because the timekeepers are robots. So now the big question is, who knows that the TVA is fake? And who created the TVA? And also why? I feel like people aren't talking about why enough in the show. They're like, yeah, who created it? And I'm like, oh, well, yeah, it's important, but like, why? Why was it created? And what are they going to do about it? Because now, of course, Loki's dead and Mobius is dead, which I'll get to that in a second. So I don't know I don't really know. I know where we're going to go with this in terms of what we're going to learn. I don't know what is going to happen. And so first, Mobius got dusted or whatever, which I think was interesting because I like Mobius a lot. I'm really upset about it. That being said, I think we will see more of Mobius. I don't think this is the end of Mobius, but I think we're getting there. But I did love his character, and I'm hoping he does come back because that was really upsetting to me. Also, it just occurred to me, like just now filming this video, I know that they went to, like, apocalyptic events and stuff. Why didn't they go to, like, the Infinity War? I feel like that would have been, like, a cool way to go back and, like, use Marvel's history as its own history and be like, okay, well, half of humanity dies here, so we're pretty safe here. I don't know why they decided not to do that, but I don't know. That was just a small little thought that I had. In terms of Loki being, dusted or whatever, he was about to tell Sylvie that he loves her, which is really strange, because it feels weird because it's Loki loving Loki, and they're the same person. If they are the same person, if they're not the same person, then it's more okay. But it's literally Loki loving himself, which is a really great thing that happens in the show, is the narcissism that appears. And it's in a physical form now, and I really appreciate that. I think it's really cool. I hope they do end up together, honestly, but I don't see that happening. I think that only one Loki can live. I don't know. We'll see. Which brings me to the post-credit scene. The post-credit scene, I was not at all expecting. I had no clue what was about to happen, and it blew my freaking mind. So Loki wakes up and he's like, "Am I in hell? Is this the end of the world?" And he looks around, and then there's a bunch of Lokis, and he said, "Not if you come with us." And there's Old Man Loki, which is like the original Loki. So he is just in the original costume from the comics. He's right off the comics. And I was like, whoa, okay, cool. And that's played by Richard E. Grant. And I was like, okay, wow. Then we have Little Loki, Boy Loki, I think they're called. He's called. And I don't know for sure. I cannot tell you with complete confidence. But I think it's possible that we see more of him in the future because we are leading up to the Young Avengers. And I think it is pretty possible that he joins the Young Avengers. That'd be really cool. I would look forward to that. And it is known that Disney is doing that right now. They are definitely leading that way. We have Wanda's kids. We have the young Ironheart or whatever coming up soon. There's just a whole lot leading up to it. And I feel like this is definitely the way to go. Of course, we have Iron Man's child as well if she decides to, follow in her father's footsteps. We have a lot of stuff that could possibly happen just from the Young Avengers point of view. So I'm excited to see that. There's a Crocodile Loki. Okay. I don't know anything about that. I don't even know if that's a comic thing or if it's just something they decided to do. Then there's this other man who is not a Loki, it seems like. It seems like he might be a Thor variant. So I'm excited to see that. But we do know for a fact it is New York City at some point. And we know that because as I was watching, I paused it because I wanted to look at all the Lokis. And on the right-hand side of the screen, you will see Stark Tower destroyed. So definitely be looking into that. And there's two theories that I have, okay? And I don't really know. I'm not confident in either one. There's one that I think I'm more confident on. And I'll talk about that one second. So first, it could be like a different timeline. Like when you get destroyed, you go to a different timeline. And like you gotta figure out how to get out of there. I don't think that's very possible, but like that's just like something I thought maybe. But it looks like this is its own timeline where just the variants who are destroyed go to, right? So we have all the other Loki variants, which means we could theoretically get Owen Wilson back. And, of course, Loki's already there. And maybe they just kind of hide out there waiting for Loki because they know what's going to happen. I don't know. It's very situational. But we'll see. I am excited about it. I think it's going to be really, really cool. We do know in the coming episodes that we're going to figure out who... I think next episode we're going to find out who made the TVA and why. And they're going to kind of try to come up with a plan. And then I think that we'll see Sylvie get into an issue where she's going to die. And then the other Lokis find a way to get back there. And then they're going to start a mini war, epic battle for the last episode. At least that's my thought. I don't know for sure, of course. But I think that's where they're headed. I am excited. I'm cautiously excited. Because we have to remember that we get one more episode of Loki on the 7th. And then we get Black Widow on the 9th. And then we get another episode of Loki on the 14th. So... that's crazy. Which also brings you to a small thing. It's completely unimportant. It's slightly unrelated. But Marvel always releases their Marvel's Assembled episodes after the thing is done, right? So we're supposed to get a Marvel's Assembled episode for Black Widow on the 16th, as well as Loki on the 16th. So I don't know what's going on with that at all. I hope that it works itself out. But I don't remember when the next Disney Plus show is. Is it Miss Marvel next? But they're still filming. I don't know what it means. Oh, it's What If, isn't it? It's What If. But What If is technically not MCU. It's MCU adjacent. I will probably not make videos about it. I might make a review overall of it, but it is an animated show, and it is MCU related, which I'm wondering if it's possible that this is technically a multiverse kind of show, which is possible. And if it is, in which case it is extremely MCU, and I'll get into that if need be, but I'm not sure if I'm going to. But yeah, episode 4 of Loki is definitely the most mind-blowing of so far. I think it's still not as good as episode 2, but it is up there. I do want to mention the fight scene I did not like in this episode. This fight scene with Sylvie and Loki and the TVA variants. It was very poorly edited. So many jump cuts. What was that? Why would they do that? It was like, and then okay, and that was it. And I'm like, wow, that's ridiculous. So that's a good example of poor editing. If you want to see good editing in fights, go to see episode 2 or 3. I was a little disappointed by that, not gonna lie to you. But overall, a really solid episode. I'm really excited for the next episode. I'm really hoping they don't screw it up because this could easily be the worst show. Even though these episodes are so good, it can get worse, and if it gets worse, it gets much worse. So I don't know. I'm sure I trust them. I think it's gonna be fine. But I am cautiously excited, and I'm going to spend the next week not thinking about it, because the more I think about it, the more theories I'm going to come up with, and the more aggravated I'm going to get with myself for thinking about said theories. So I'm going to take a break and not think about Loki for a while, and then wake up Wednesday and watch the next episode. And I think by the next episode we're gonna get a lot of answers. We're gonna, like, I know that, like, right now you're probably feeling this uneasy feeling inside where you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know what's going on. That will be resolved, I believe, Wednesday. I think after this next episode it'll all be like, okay, we understand exactly what's going on. Now we just got to fight to see who wins. And that's kind of like the Marvel thing that they do. Which is understandable. We'll probably raise a couple questions, multiverse questions, but I think those will also be answered quickly because I do believe we'll get the No Way Home trailer relatively soon after the release of Black Widow, if not on the release of Black Widow. So I don't know. I think it really does depend on what happens next Wednesday, but I think it's possible to get a No Way Home trailer on next Friday with Black Widow. I think it is possible. Is it likely? Not necessarily. They're really withholding this trailer as long as they possibly can, and they might be just straight up waiting for Loki to be done before they can actually release it, but we shall see. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys liked it, make sure you guys are subscribing and liking the video and sharing with your friends. And as always, keep watching movies and television, stay educated, and I'll see you guys in the next video.